This is Required Watching, where we watch the essential films from a list of cinematic influencers and look at them through the lens of learning about filmmaking and how to move forward. I'm your host, Trey Epps, and today we're going to keep it brief because we're talking about film movements in cinematic history. And I think it's just time for a history lesson. It's time for us to level it out, and each week, each 2 weeks, each fortnight, we'll be looking at two films that represent this particular, the particular film movement of the time. So we'll go through a list of film movements, and then we'll look at two movies that exemplify them. So for this week, we'll look at German Expressionism, and we'll take a look at Metropolis and the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Caligari, am I saying that right? Yeah, whatever. Um, so buckle up. But for now, let's talk about what German Expressionism is as a film movement and how filmmakers used it and why it's important. So, uh, like I said, German Expressionism, German Expressionists, gosh, yeah, I can't say words. German Expressionist filmmakers from the 1920s were masters at using visual distortion and intense performances to capture the inner struggles, fears, and desires of that era. They took a bold step away from the realism and instead presented dramatic and revolutionary interpretations of the human condition. But how did it all begin? Well, in 1916, the German government banned foreign films, leading a surge to domestic film production. However, with the impact of World War I and the fear of hyperinflation, German audiences were looking for something deeper than your typical romance or action flick. Themes of romance and cruelty and betrayal became more relevant, creating the perfect environment for innovative filmmakers such as Fritz Lang and F.W. Murnau to make their mark on cinematic history. German Expressionism wasn't limited to just filmmaking, of course, it had roots in other art forms. Take, for example, Edvard Munch's famous painting, The Scream. It's a prime example of how Expressionism allows artists to express emotions through the creative distortion, giving us an impression of a scene rather than the realistic depiction. The ideology carried over to German expressionist films, influencing everything from dreamlike set design to over-the-top performances. In fact, set design in films like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, there we go, and Metropolis was carefully crafted to reflect and control the emotions of the story. German expressionism uh, was a movement that pushed the boundaries of conventional filmmaking and continues to inspire filmmakers today. Directors like Ridley Scott, Tim Burton all draw inspiration from this unique style and atmosphere. Plus, within the horror genre, German Expressionism's impact is immeasurable, shaping the very foundations of what the genre still relies on. So, there you have it. German Expressionism in a nutshell. It's incredibly influential as a film movement that left an indelible mark on cinema, and we still can see the echoes of it today, what, 100 years later. If you're a fan of visually striking and emotionally charged movies, then German Expressionism films should definitely be on your radar. But what films? Over the next 2 weeks, of course, like I said up top, we're going to look at Metropolis and The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Uh, so buckle up, and tomorrow we'll see you for the first film, and a week from tomorrow, we'll hit you with the second one. Until then, peace out.